a plainclothes soldier came up to the accident and said, you know, you did a great job. You know, I see what you did. You controlled his bleeding. This may have helped them. You know, so I
That's fantastic.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times video games saved people's lives.
When we're on our deathbeds, will we regret the time we spent playing games?
For this list, we're looking at various ways video games have helped save people, whether that be through teaching important lessons, empowering players, or being a useful tool in other lines of work. Also, one can expect some heavy topics here, so viewer discretion is advised. How have video games helped you in your life? Share with us in the comments below. Number 10. Tony.
The vaginal cuff, which is right there. Okay.
Inside, helping to teach the technique is a 15-year-old.
8-10 inch incision versus...
There have been a handful of examples over the last decade or so of kids using techniques in games to avert serious situations, though we hadn't seen anything quite like this. Tony, a 15-year-old high school student, would blow the minds of various surgeons after showing them a new way to conduct hysterectomy operations. The tool Tony developed was for nothing grander than a school science fair, and it was designed for the user to employ the same hand-eye coordination skills one would use playing a video game. It also helps that Tony's high school offered medical courses too, but still, it's cool to see gaming continue to make leaps into the medical field.
With this, you have to look on screen to know where you are inside the actual body.
Tony suggested that they do a vertical instead of horizontal.
Number 9. Dr. James Rosser. Speaking of surgeons and operations, there is one doctor whose methods might seem a tad odd to those who aren't into gaming. Dr. James Rosser specializes in laparoscopic surgery, a form of surgery that involves inserting long, thin instruments into the abdomen to cut and manipulate tissue. As with most forms of surgery, it is a delicate procedure as it doesn't utilize a sizable incision. So how does Dr. Rosser prepare for such an intricate task? Why, he spends a bit of time playing Super Monkey Ball. Even more astounding, Dr. Rosser is also the co-author of a 2004 study that found how video games can make surgeons quicker in their operations, thanks to how they can help improve hand-eye coordination. Number 8. Jessica Marsh.
Grace, is somebody there?
There are plenty of stories one can read on how video games helped people get over bad breakups and other moments in life. This one comes from former contributor for Geek Girl Authority, Jessica Marsh, who published her own such story on the website. Marsh would go through an awful breakup with her then fiancé that left her nothing but a bed, TV, a PS3, and a PS4. She went through a period where she felt empty and incredibly depressed. That is, until she played BioShock again. Despite having played the game with others who she had long stopped seeing before, BioShock helped give her a sense of direction with its gloomy wonder and immersive story. This would eventually lead her to other games like Cave Story, Journey, and Flower, games that would also help her learn valuable life lessons. Number 7. Paxton Galvanek.
That's right, and how a video game could come in handy and save a life. We'll tell you how one man did it.
So far, we've seen how games can influence medical practices and oftentimes life choices, but very rarely do we get to see how a game can educate on life-saving methods. In 2008, Paxton Galvanek saved 2 people from an awful traffic accident, and he did so without any medical courses whatsoever. Turns out, he would learn how to control bleeding through the video game America's Army, which has in-game training sessions on various life-saving techniques. According to Colonel Wardinsky in an interview with Fox News, techniques like this were not publicly available, and after the tragic events of 9/11, they decided to implement the courses into the game.
I'm kind of a dork because I run an online group of gamers, but I only do that at night. And I mean, in the day, I own Galvanic Mall Advertising, but at night, I just run these gamers. We play America's Army a lot.
Number 6. Sean Kittleson. If you haven't heard of Sean Kittleson, well, you've probably played a couple of games he's helped write, most notably Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat 11. However, there was a time when sitting down and writing these games started to affect his health. In a Polygon article, Kittleson noted that he had begun to experience weight gain, back pain, and depression between 2014 and 2016 before suffering from herniated discs in 2017. After much physical therapy and treatment, Kittleson would stumble upon a VR headset, the Oculus Rift, and began exploring a handful of VR titles. Not only was Kittleson able to lose weight through playing VR games, he was also able to improve his blood pressure and gained more muscle. Number 5. Jane McGonigal.
When we're on our deathbeds, will we regret the time we spent playing games?
For those unaware, Jane McGonigal has long been a prominent figure in the world of gaming, specifically the area of gaming that focuses on mental health. Through gaming, McGonigal has found ways to help people with motivational issues and even developed an app to help folks improve themselves called Super Better. Surprisingly enough, Super Better was originally developed by McGonigal for herself as a means to help overcome a severe concussion. It was through this tough period in her life that she would turn Super Better into a tool anyone can use to overcome their challenges, regardless of what they might be.
And also there's this epic story, this inspiring story of why we're there and what we're doing. And then we get all this positive feedback. You guys have heard of leveling up and +1 strength and +1 intelligence.
Number 4. Seeking refuge. A common belief joked about online is how our online friends are sometimes more real than the ones we know in person. This story comes from Giant Bomb user Evil Razor. A military base outside of his apartment had just been attacked, and it caused Razor to immediately flee his home. Unable to get a hold of friends in other Ukrainian cities, he would turn to his friends on Steam, people who he had only made contact with through games like Team Fortress 2. Much to his surprise, they all helped give him food and shelter until he was able to seek asylum in another country. As Razor himself preaches at the end of the story, never take your real-life friends or internet buddies for granted. Truer words have never been spoken. Number 3. Garen Turner.
Hi, Grim Blitzrow here, the greatest announcer of all time and star of the most outrageous sports game ever.
In June 2018, the World Health Organization's definition of gaming disorder sparked controversy among games media pundits and developers. As a response, Garen Turner, writer of games such as Trials of Unrest and Mutant Football League, posted on PlayStation Lifestyle about how gaming helped him get through his own situations. Turner had been a victim of abuse and violence on multiple occasions, but he managed to find solace in video games. This would inspire Turner later in life to go into writing for video games, and he's even gone on to work in movies and sports as well. Number 2. Sarah Winters. Winters went through quite a bit of turbulence to get to where she is today. At an early age, she was diagnosed with ocular albinism, which had made her vision so impaired she was classified as legally blind. At 10 years old, her doctor surprisingly prescribed video games and advised a trip to GameStop. It was there she would receive a couple of games as well as a Game Boy Pocket. 2 years of Breakout and Pokemon later, and Winters' vision improved twofold, allowing her to go from reading massive books with large font to regular-sized ones. To this day, Winters continues to advocate for and help improve accessibility options in games, and has even worked on bigger titles such as Final Fantasy XIV.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Zhenghua Z Yang. To call Yang's tribulation a miracle would be an understatement. In his teens, Yang had succumbed to a terminal illness that left his doctor's head scratching. His condition kept worsening until the day they expected his passing. However, Yang was hospitalized for 2 whole years afterwards, but he felt hopeless. Luckily, he found hope again through playing video games, experiencing new worlds, and meeting various players through online multiplayer. Over time, Yang would make a surprising and spontaneous recovery, eventually allowing him to go back to school and rebuild his life. Today, Yang serves as founder and CEO of Serenity Forge, and his team have published a plethora of games such as Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, Pinstripe, and Death's Gambit Afterlife.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.